guys, today we're here to chat about products that just disappointed me, and I don't really call it a products I regret buying because a lot of these were actually sent to me in PR, and it doesn't matter if a product is sent to me. If I buy it myself, it's a brand I love, it's a brand I hate. I am totally ready and willing to tell you about products that don't really work for me. A lot of it, however, is kind of personal preference, and like with anything, it's all completely subjective. So if this is something you love, don't worry about it. As I always say in these videos, more for you to buy because I will not be telling anybody to run out and pick them up. I have done a few of these, so I believe I have a playlist, so I will link to that down below. And if you're curious about this look, I did film an Instagram tutorial. I'm not sure if it's up yet, so if it is, I will have it linked down below. Otherwise, everything that I'm wearing is always listed down below as well. But let's go ahead and get started. I've got a couple of e.l.f. products here, and e.l.f. is a brand that I absolutely love. They do some amazing things, especially lately. I've really enjoyed a lot of their products, but I do have two things from them here that really did not do it for me. The first, I think I picked this up in an e.l.f. haul maybe last year because I wanted to try another one of their concealers, and this was before their newest concealer launched, which I actually enjoy, and I did use that in my e.l.f. haul, I think. So if you want to see that in action, I'll link to that down below to give you a better alternative. But this is the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer, and it's just kind of like if you weren't big on drugstore makeup and you kind of assumed it was all crap, this is kind of what it is, you know? Like, I would never give this to someone and be like, look, it only costs $3, and try to impress them like I would with their new concealer. It's not that like it's horrible, but like the color was really off, and there wasn't a great shade range there to begin with, and it just looked really dry under the eyes, and I don't have particularly dry under eyes. It's not a huge issue that I run into, so I just felt like it really didn't look good. It didn't hold its coverage. I don't know what the lifting is in there. It definitely didn't do any lifting, so it was just kind of disappointing to me, but they do have a good alternative, which I appreciate. And then the other product, I was so excited about this. It's the e.l.f. Beauty Shield Antioxidant Enriched SPF 50 Skin Shielding Primer in Universal Tint. And when I hear Universal Tint in a sunscreen product, I almost always know it's a straight up lie. And 9 times out of 10, it is a straight up lie, because this is anything but universal. I mean, you'll see a close-up swatch of it, but like, that's not universal, my friends. That's like a straight up gray beige. And on top of the fact that it's not universal, I don't like the texture either. It's very moussey, and I hate moussey textures for the most part. I find that they make my skin feel, just feels really heavy, really sits on the skin. So it was a great idea to have an SPF 50 primer with antioxidants from e.l.f., cruelty-free, affordable. Sounds amazing, but definitely did not do it for me in terms of texture, in terms of the feeling, in terms of the universal tint. So this was definitely disappointing because I had very high hopes for it. The next two products are highlighters, and this is again a personal preference thing. I don't like glitter in my highlighters. I definitely prefer them to be more natural. Like, obviously this is not that natural unless you have really good skin. Perhaps you glow like this. For me today it is an Essence highlighter, but I don't like to be able to see the chunks too close up on my face, and these both had that in there. Oh, it's actually another e.l.f. product. Oh my god, e.l.f., I'm sorry. This is the Power Glow highlighter, and this is something I actually will continue to use, but it's something that I will be mixing into a moisturizer to put on my body, so that's something to keep in mind. I also felt like I liked this when I put it on my skin. I thought like, oh my god, it gives a really wet glow. I think I used it in a Get Ready With Me, and initially I was really impressed with it, but then you kind of lose the glow and it kind of ends just like looking like glitter on your face. But that's all I'm going to say about that because I feel really bad talking so poorly of e.l.f. I have a favorite e.l.f. video. I have so many e.l.f. Get Ready With Me's. I have best e.l.f. brushes. They're amazing, but just not those couple of products. The next highlighter that I did not love is a super high-end one, and I really wanted to love this one. Again, it is the Marc Jacobs Omega Glaze Showstopper. This just launched. It's a part of their fall collection. Really beautiful packaging, and their Omega highlighter from the holidays is incredibly gorgeous. It had this kind of pinky gold in it, which is my favorite when it comes to highlighter. So I was excited about this because it's kind of like a peachy pinky, and it looked really beautiful. I actually went to an event. as you know by now, there are now 2 cats in my household, and it is a tense morning. When I was filming this Instagram tutorial, I had to get up like 3 times to stop potential scraps, and right now Emily is in bed under the blankets, and Rue found her under the blankets and was like pouncing on top of her, and then Emily's like hissing from under the blankets. So I like put Emily in the bedroom, closed the doors, and now Rue's like sitting outside singing her song, trying to get in and like beat her to death or whatever. Rue, it's okay. She's not an enemy. Come here. Come here, my cat. You can't get in there. So anyways, it's a tense morning in the household, but I was at an event. Lady Gaga's makeup artist was there. She used this on a model that had really gorgeous skin. Obviously, she's a model, but she definitely had lighter skin, and on her skin, even when I looked up close, I thought it looked amazing, because when I swatched this on my hand, I was like, oh, it's kind of glittery, but on my skin, it just is not good. Maybe if you have a lighter skin, this may show a little bit better, and the glitter may show up a little bit less, but for me, on my skin tone, this was just not flattering. I do love their bronzers. I love the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer is really nice, and like I said, I love the holiday version of this from last year, but this one, just if you have like a warmer skin tone and you tend to like the same highlighters as me, not great. But if you have a more fair skin tone, give it a try. It may work for you, but for me, it was just chunky and not cute. Also, if you didn't realize that I had 2 cats in my household, I'll link to 2 videos down below. I got a hairless cat. It's been an interesting month, but a couple of eye products that I want to mention. The first is from Too Faced, and I've had this in my bathroom forever, and I was like, let me try this. Like, I just never thought to reach for it. It's the Too Faced Mascara Melt Off. It's a cleansing oil waterproof mascara dissolver. In theory, great idea. Something to really get in there, remove your mascara, especially if it's tough and waterproof. I don't really wear waterproof mascara, only when I'm away on like a beach vacation will I do that, and even then I still hate waterproof mascara. I'm in the minority there, I know. But my issue with this, a couple of things. It has that kind of brush on it. Remember that, was it an Hourglass mascara that came out that kind of looked like a screw? So I just feel like it just doesn't get in on my lashes enough. Like if it was a more like true mascara brush, I think it would have done a better job getting in at the actual lashes and coating them. So that is my kind of main issue with it, is just like, if I'm using a cleansing oil or micellar water or a balm, I have no problem removing my mascara with those types of products. So something that I'm going to buy specifically to remove my mascara needs to do an incredible job doing it to justify having an extra item and an extra step in the routine, or do it either really quickly, do it really easily, do it really well, any of those things, or a combination of all 3. And it just didn't. It wasn't that it didn't remove my mascara, because it did, but I just felt like I needed to rub and really get it in there for quite a while. And then I still went in with a cleansing oil / balm to remove the rest of my makeup. So it didn't really it just didn't really make sense. So it's not that it's bad, it's fine. And maybe if you don't wear a lot of other makeup and you're only wearing mascara, sorry. Rue's like, hello, did you realize there's an enemy in the bedroom? It's okay. She's your sister. She's your sister. She's your sister. She's your sister. I know, it's confusing. Moving on, very distracted. It's been so hard to film with the 2 of them here before like I told anybody that I had Emily, so I'm like, oh, something's happening, gotta go, cat issue, and I'm like cutting and pasting all of my videos to cut out like cat fights in the background. But anyways, another high-end product that just didn't do it for me is the Givenchy Liner Disturbia. I have the mascara from this line and I like it. It's not like incredible, but I like it. This liner, however, is not that black. It's not that it's not very opaque, so it's like a little bit translucent, and I don't love the brush on it, and I don't feel like it has crazy wear time. My favorite liners in this format are the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner and the Benefit roller liner. I'm actually wearing that in brown today, really mixing it up. Wow. But yeah, this was super disappointing to me. It was sent to me, so I don't know exactly how much it costs, but it's Givenchy, so the price tag is definitely up there. And then when it comes to mascaras, not to toot my own horn, but I do have quite nice lashes, so it doesn't take a lot for me to like really enjoy a mascara. So when a mascara doesn't work out for me, I'm just like, ugh. And for the most part, I never have issues with mascara transferring, with mascara flaking, even though I have oily eyelids. It's just, I don't know, it's just not a problem for me. So when they do that, I'm disappointed, and this did that. So this is new from Revlon. It is the So Fierce. I liked the results, and I thought they were good, but again, it wasn't like a crazy good mascara. There's so many others that I prefer over this. It gave a lot more length than it did volume, and I prefer to have like a combination of length and volume. I was wearing this during my Benefit foundation review that I did recently, and I had to clean up like under my brows several times because it was transferring, I guess, from the top of my lashes to my eyelids. So that was just disappointing to me, and the formula wasn't good enough to justify having any transfer. So yeah, that was kind of disappointing. So if you generally tend to have transfer, you may want to stay away from this, because I did. But as always, if you have any of these products and love them, feel free to chime in below. While we're talking about Benefit, let me tell you about two products from them that disappointed me. The first is the foundation that I mentioned, and it's not that this is a bad foundation. It's fine. But my issue with this, and I was discussing it with a couple people in the comment section, is that I don't feel like the original foundation that they launched last year, I was super pumped on that. It had a great formula. I was excited to see they extended the shade range to 12 shades. Still not incredible, but I was like, you know what? They've taken a step forward. That's exciting to see. Can't wait to see more shade extensions. Then they released deeper bronzers, blah, blah, blah. So when this foundation came out, I was excited because I was like, ooh, you know, I love foundation. I love Benefit. But then I saw it only had 12 shades, and I had to mix shades. So it's like the formula was good, the wear time was good, but the formula didn't blow me away. The fact that I had to mix two shades together also really, really annoys me. That is like, you know, 2012 Samantha, that is not 2019 Samantha. We don't need to do that anymore. I'm spoiled for choice with a lot of brands. And like I said in that review, some brands are just never gonna have 40 shades, and so be it. And someone said in the comments, you know, I'm not looking to, you know, what we were kind of looking for was more diversity, so I'm happy to see that it's an even shade range, which absolutely, and I give them points for that. It's not, you know, 11 shades of beige plus a mahogany at the end. It does seem like a decently spread shade range, but there's still so many missing gaps in between that it's just kind of like annoying. And I don't feel like this formula and the first formula foundation that they launched were different enough. I just would have rather see a shade extension of their initial foundation that they launched last year, or more shades of this one, like even 20, 22, you know, just a couple more. 12 when it's a medium coverage foundation, just, it's too hard. If it's a tinted moisturizer, you can get away with 12 a little bit more easily, but I feel like something like this that has more coverage in it, it's just kind of disappointing. So that's why it's here, because this is a disappointing products video. It's not that it's trash. If you want to try it, absolutely try it, but it just disappointed me. This also really disappointed me, and I've had this in my kind of like bad bin ever since it launched. I tried it once and was like, no. Super cute idea. Love the idea. I loved these pens when I was a kid. When I had one of these, I was like, I'm on top of the world. And if you don't remember these, it's basically a pen kind of thing that has a bunch of different shades. So you have a lighter shade, a deeper shade, a definer shade, and a highlighter shade, which I think is great. But the thing I don't like about this is the formula is way too creamy. It's kind of like a pomade in a pen format, and I like a bit of a drier pencil. I don't even really fill my eyebrows in anymore since I've been doing threading, but even when I was filling my brows in when this launched, I did not like it. I just found like I couldn't imitate brow strokes. It was just too thick. So I love the idea of having a couple different shades and a highlighter in there, but the formula just didn't do it for me. I love their other brow pencils, and you know 24-hour brow setter is my absolute life, but this just didn't do it for me. It's the Brow Contour Pro. So really, really cute in theory, but I just did not like the formula. Let's chat about another foundation that over time I realized just did not do it for me. I reviewed this, so if you want to check out my review, I will link to it down below, and it's okay. But I realized that I was testing it out before I reviewed it to see, you know, obviously how it wore in different conditions, and I liked it. It was okay, but after like months and months have gone by, I have not reached for this once, and I really think that that goes to show that it just didn't do it for me, especially because I've been into more stick foundations lately. So the foundation that I'm mentioning, and I hate to mention it because I love me some Maybelline, is the Maybelline Super Stay, and I love the liquid version of this. The powder version of it, I like to set my face. I don't love as a powder foundation. I reviewed both of those, but as a stick it annoyed me, and because again I had to mix shades, which I don't appreciate from Maybelline because they can make a great shade range. They know how to do it, and the formula itself just wasn't phenomenal. You know, like they just discontinued the Cushion, which was a phenomenal foundation. I guess like the Cushion foundation market in North America just didn't really do as well. But that foundation was gorgeous, felt so high end, but this just felt a little, you know, I never reached for it again. So I think that's a good indicator that it just didn't really do it for me. It could act as a good cream contour, however, if you're looking for a cream contour from the drugstore and can't seem to find a good shade for yourself. But overall, it just didn't really wow me that much, and I feel like there wasn't much product in there. Yeah, there's only 7 grams of product, so although it is on the more affordable end, 7 grams of product is not much when it comes to a stick foundation. So if you do happen to like it and use it every day, you'll run through it quite quickly, which is disappointing. But like, I don't always dock points for that because I have certain products like the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Airbrush powder, whatever that is, has like no product in it, and I love it so much, so I give it a pass. But if I don't really like the shade range and I don't love the formula, then I'm also gonna rag on the fact that there's not much product in there. So this one didn't do it for me. Otherwise, Maybelline, you know, I love Maybelline. I consider myself, you know, part of the Maybelline girl gang, whether they do or not to me. But yeah, the foundation was just kind of bleh. I have a sponge that I want to talk about. This is from Laura Mercier, and I don't like it. It's too dense. I don't love the shape. In this case, I feel like it could be kind of a thing where it's like makeup artists would probably like this. It has a nice shape. I thought the shape was interesting, but it just felt like it took a long time to spread product over my face. It felt too dense, and I just didn't like it. Like, I use they're both dirty, so my apologies, but my EcoTool sponge, I use this flat out. It's so good, super, super affordable. Obviously, Laura Mercier is going to be a higher price point, and I want it to be good no matter what the price point is, and I just didn't like it. But you know, it could be a difference between me being just like your average makeup user versus a makeup artist. I feel like they tend to like different things than like the average makeup user likes, but I feel like the majority of you are not makeup artists probably. So yeah, this one just didn't really do it for me. I'm just gonna stick to my other sponges. I feel like I've been talking for a long time, but I'm gonna keep going. I have a lip scrub here. This is from MAC, and I've had this for a long time. This is the Lip Scrubtious in the sweet brown sugar scent. Smells amazing. It smells exactly like the Quaker, you know, oatmeal, the ones back in the day, the little individual packets. That's what it smells exactly like. Smells amazing. But I find I don't like the majority of lip scrubs, honestly. I feel like they don't do a good job. Either the sugar granules are too big or they're too oily, and it's like you just can't get a good exfoliation. I love the e.l.f. one in the tube because you can really kind of get in there, but the majority of scrubs I don't enjoy, and this is one of them. It smells so, so good. Feels kind of hydrating, but I just feel like the sugar granules in there are too big that you can't get a good true exfoliation. So that was kind of disappointing to me. And then I have 3 more products. The last kind of makeup item is a brush. This is from Pure. It's kind of like their version of an Artiste brush, and I think I have a Moda one that I meant to mention, or I have over there to try. But I've yet to try one of these brushes and like them. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Like, remember when these were all the rage? I need to try my Artiste one and see if maybe I just don't like the style of brush, or perhaps it's a case of all the dupes being bad. Because if you only ever tried bad beauty blender dupes, you'd be like, oh, I hate sponges for applying my makeup, although there's tons of good dupes now. But you'd be like, oh, I hate them because you never tried the original, kind of what everybody's trying to imitate. So maybe it's a case of that. But I find whenever I use these, I get no coverage in my foundation. And this has like been sitting in my bad bin for a while when I was wearing more full coverage things. And yeah, I don't know, it just kind of smushes the foundation around and did not do a good job, so I did not like that. Then this is a cleanser from Kors, which I was really excited to try. It's the Wild Rose Foaming Cream Cleanser for all skin types, and I love rose scented skincare. I'm not sensitive to sun. No, not sensitive to scent in my skincare, but the scent on this was just too much, and I especially love rose. Like, I have a Lancome rose creams. I have some setting sprays and stuff that are rose scented, but this, it's just too much. I used this I think twice, and I was like, I can't. And I get comments all the time on reviews, and they're like, you didn't mention how bad the scent was, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't notice. So I'm not sensitive to scents, but this was just far, far, far too much. The texture of it was really nice, but I just can't get past the scent. And then the last thing, I thought that this sounded really cool. It's from Avon. It's the Hydrofusion In Shower Mask. It says it's a splash on mask with intense hydration that's refreshing, and no rinse mask with hyaluronic acid to instantly boost and lock in moisture. Ooh. And it says in shower at the sink, pour a small amount of the palm, pat directly onto wet face, do not rinse. I was like, wow, that sounds cool. It sounds kind of like it'll be like almost like a sheet mask, but like in a liquid format, just like a really light almost essence kind of thing is what they're getting at. But they were calling it an in-shower mask. Issue 1. This is the application. This should be a spray bottle, I think, if you're going to call it it should be in a spray bottle, I think, to just easily be able to spray on your face, because you need to pour it out into your hand. It's like watery, and then you gotta pour it out into your hand. You gotta put the bottle down, find somewhere to put the bottle down, and like try and smush it in your hands and then pat it on your face. Like, I get that's how an essence works, and like I do that with essences, but this says it's like an in-shower thing, and I found when I did this, it just like I couldn't get it onto my face properly, and that's like maybe being a little bit nitpicky, but I just didn't like it. And I was actually looking up because I wanted to see if this was still available, because Avon discontinues things really quickly, and I was looking at the reviews and other people felt that way too. They were like, it's just a clumsy application. And then the worst part of it was, like, I can look past that. I could put this in a spray bottle if I really love the formula, but it burns your eyes. So like, what's the point? It's impossible not to get it in your eyes, because you're literally supposed to like splash it onto your face. It's hard to do like a targeted application when it's a straight up water that you're supposed to put on your face. So it burned your eyes, so I do not appreciate that. It had a nice texture, but I mean, it's too hard to get on my face. When I got it on my face, it got in my eyes and burned them. So, you know, again, another great idea, but the actual execution of it and the actual application of it was a nightmare. So disappointing. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for bearing with me during the Cat Wars 2019 that are going on in my household. Yeah, it's been a lot. And thank you for tuning in to talk a little bit of crap about a couple of products. Feels good to let it out. So let me know what has disappointed you lately, if you feel like sounding off, down below. And if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJeanYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!